Okay, gang, gonna give a little tutorial or explanation here on a set of spin wheels. One was missing the guts. I decided to replace them. The original guts are really unique. You'd have to have them CNC made. So I come up with my own axle. The original ones are female. So I'm gonna use this pork chop. It's a GT race hub and super lace, I guess you could say, as well, axle. And I've made some adjustments and stuff like that to it. For one thing, you can see right here the double line there is because I had somebody, a machinist, take off about another 3.5 millimeters of the shoulder, because that's what I needed it to be here. In fact, the dimension that was used was 71, I think I measured out at about 71.92 or 71.93 millimeters. The goal was to be 72 or less, so it was perfectly done. And here's the components. Other than modifying this shoulder length, what I had to use here were use these collars here. First of all, these are made by Trampa. They're 12 millimeter by 3/8 millimeter adapters for bearings. They're specifically made for bearings, and because they're 8 millimeters wide and the bearing is 6 millimeters wide, if you put this on there, you have a gap. See how it's longer? So I bought a 2 millimeter purpose fit spacer. See right there? That goes on, and then the bearing goes on, and that's a bearing spacer on purpose. And slide this bearing on. I can do it with one hand. Now it's all perfect. See the 2 millimeter spacer in there, 3/8 bore. Now I can use a 3/8 axle. The purpose of these guys are, these are really fine shims, and you'll see I got them in 0.001 inches, 0.002, 0.003, and 0.005 inches. Got them off a McMaster car. It's kind of expensive. I probably spent about $35 on those, something like that. And what I decided to use in the end was a 0.005 over here. This is all because I made this shoulder to shoulder. Came out a hair shorter than it should have been, but that was my plan. I wanted to shim it to perfection, and didn't want it to be too long. So one other thing I want to mention, I should have mentioned this first off, these bearing bores are not perfect. That bearing shouldn't just pop in there like that. It shouldn't just fall out like that. So I will also show you on the other side is the same. That's not quite the way it should be. Stick it right over here on this side. Should take a little more effort than that. Anyhow, it is what it is. I can't fix that. Somebody boogered the hole a little bit. I think it's about 0.01 or 0.02 millimeters larger in diameter, whereas it should be 0.01 to maybe 0.02 millimeters negative, or interference fit there. It's not. So this is what the whole little setup looks like. I've got a 0.05 shim right here, along with the Trampa adapter with a 2 millimeter spacer, nice notchy bearing, brand new. All this is brand new. The pork chop GT style split collar, and a nice aluminum nut also from Pork Chop. So all this goes together, and I'll show you here in a second. Actually, I'll see if I can do this one-handed. Okay, so there's the two twos that go right up against the shoulder. It's nice and clean. And I come with the Trampa adapter. You can see those two shims I put in there. Each one's 0.002, so that comes out to be 0.004 altogether, with the 0.005 on that side. Now for the thick 2 millimeter spacer. And and I'm going to stick this in the wheel. Set the phone down. Okay, got it stuck to the hole. You can see everything down in there. See this side? All right, it's easy from here. Bearing. Collar. One thing you'll notice, so I put shims in there starting out with not enough, which made it super sluggish or super tight feeling, and I kept adding them in, and I started out with 2 003s and it was super sluggish, and by the time you get to 0.010 it's just it's maybe a little bit less too loose, so you can see the small increments that are necessary. And when you tighten down this split collar, it will feel different than it does before you tighten it down. I'm going to do that now, so I'm going to put the phone down. Alright, that's on there. On for the final step. Alright, that's it. Looks super sharp in my opinion. If somebody hadn't boogered those bores a little bit, this would be a perfect, proper solution for these missing. And that feels pretty much how I want it to feel. I'm trying to avoid any feeling of play. I don't feel any at all on that side. Bear in mind that with the boogered bores that, so on this side I do feel some. There's nothing I can do about that. It's nothing you're gonna see. But you can hear it when I do that. And it spins ideal. So essentially, it's a perfect solution, but what it's not a solution for, like I said, is a little bit of booger bore. So that's the only imperfect thing about it, but as far as the set of guts go, this is a perfect solution. And that's about it.